In one corner is the galaxy's most feared and prolific hunter. In the other is the Man of Steel, humanity's champion and the son of Krypton. One seeks to hone its skills hunting the most dangerous prey, testing its mettle against the strongest, smartest, and most cunning creatures in the galaxy. The other stands for truth, justice, and freedom, for helping the weak and protecting the helpless. But of the two, who would win in a fight? Welcome to a special episode of the Infographics Who Would Win? Today we're pitting the Master Huntsman against the Boy Scout in blue in a quest to figure out who would win, and the answer just might surprise you. At first glance, the odds seem to be firmly stacked against our solo predator. Superman is, after all, well, super. His strength is amongst the greatest in the universe, and at times, he's been shown to move entire planets. Needless to say, our predator wouldn't want to get into a punching match with Superman, but Superman's strength comes with a catch. His strength and stamina are both fueled by the light of a yellow star. Deprive Superman of yellow sunlight and his strength begins to diminish. Not instantly, of course, but over time. Superman is also extremely resistant to damage, being nearly invulnerable to extreme trauma and temperature both. His molecular structure is so densely packed together that it defies physics literally, and makes his body extremely difficult to damage. If that wasn't enough, Superman is also extremely fast. As the famous saying goes, he's faster than a speeding bullet, and his mental acuity accelerates as he speeds up, so he's still able to process sensory data even at incredible speeds, which is nice for not running into walls, although we guess that doesn't matter much for Superman. Super senses and flight round out the list of powers that make Superman so super, and in the case of the Predator, a formidable challenge indeed. Our Predator, on the other hand, lacks many of Superman's natural abilities, although he is at least as strong as an Olympic powerlifter, even without any form of biomechanical enhancements, which Predators often wear surreptitiously under armor plating to protect the more vulnerable parts of their anatomy. They further enhance their strength with weapons such as power fists, which allow them to punch through a half a foot of concrete with ease, and their extra dense bones and muscles easily absorb the shock which would break a normal human's arm. That incredible muscle and bone density also makes predators very resistant to trauma, and they can survive and even continue to hunt after taking several large caliber gunshot wounds, which would kill a normal human being. Predators are also natural fighters, each predator a master of a domestic form of martial arts that seems to fight with their hands and feet, as well as various melee weapons such as swords, spears, and throwing discs with deadly efficiency. Preferring hand-to-hand weapons as they do, predators are not completely against using their superior technology against particularly dangerous prey, and can use a shoulder-mounted plasma cannon to deliver obliterating blasts of superheated plasma at a temperature of several thousand degrees. They will also occasionally use electromagnetic railgun rifles which can shoot projectiles at a small fraction of the speed of light, impacting with incredible kinetic energy. Although such weapons are dishonorable to use in a hunt and reserved only for purely military engagements. So who would win in a fight between the galaxy's deadliest hunter and the Man of Steel? First, there's one weapon that the Predator brings to a fight that Superman will undoubtedly be unprepared for, and that's a keen intellect and a very savage disposition. Predators are not dumb, mostly because their society continuously weeds out the weak and unintelligent through a ritual of ever more dangerous hunts that juveniles are dispatched on before being allowed to become an adult. The nature of these hunts is such that only the brightest and strongest survive to become adults, as even fully capable predators are often overcome by the dangerous prey they stalk. So what we're saying is that the Predator coming after Superman is no dummy, and will have done his research and been prepared. For a fair matchup, we're going to place the combatants in a sealed arena though, denying the Predator the ability to stalk Superman from afar and lay an ambush as would be its preferred method of killing. Immediately, Superman is going to dash across the arena to close the distance between himself and the Predator. Superman is no dummy himself, but has been shown time and time again to prefer the brute strength use of his powers in a fight over tactical decision-making. So in the first few seconds of our matchup, Superman is already moving at supersonic speed to turn our poor Predator into wall gravy. But hold on, because Superman may be fast, but the Predator's shoulder-mounted targeting computer is even faster, able to track, target, and fire at near the speed of light, as with any electronics. As Superman dashes to close the distance between himself and the Predator, he's going to get hit square in the chest with a kryptonite-powered laser. Because of its ability to disrupt the transfer of solar energy across his body, kryptonite in effect shuts down Superman's powers, or at least severely weakens them, And while Superman may be fast, he isn't fast enough to dodge a laser moving at the speed of light. At least not without some serious long-term absorption and buildup of yellow solar energy. But getting hit by a kryptonite laser isn't instant death for the Man of Steel, and Superman will quickly retaliate by shutting that laser down using his heat vision, which has a range of several hundred feet and can become intense enough to melt electronics. In our first exchange between our combatants, the Predator has brought Superman to a screeching halt using a kryptonite laser, now disabled thanks to Superman's heat vision. That's okay, because Predators have two shoulders, which means two shoulder-mounted weapons. On his other shoulder, the Predator blasts Superman with his plasma launcher, a high-tech portable cannon that fires blasts of superheated ionized gas. But the fuel source for this plasma launcher is, you guessed it, kryptonite. By vaporizing kryptonite crystals and then using magnetic induction, the plasma launcher is able to hurl deadly blasts of superheated kryptonite gas in Superman's direction. And given his toxicity to the element, he doesn't even have to be hit directly, as the rapidly cooling gas will dissipate throughout the room and start to weaken Superman. Yet, even a weak Superman is still, well, a Superman. The plasma launcher isn't going to last long against another blast from Superman's eye rays, but discharging his heat rays severely depletes his solar energy reserve in a way that uses his powers doesn't. That's because the heat rays are nothing more than stored solar radiation, and with his powers already weakening from the toxic kryptonite he's been blasted with, Superman can't afford to expend much power and simply turn the Predator into a well-done roast. With Superman's ability severely weakened, it's time to close in for a fair fight. This is the Predator's biggest weakness, as even facing off against a foe such as Superman will yield no honor if he's not defeated in hand-to-hand combat. Our Predator could always hang back and simply finish the job using any number of smart explosives laced with kryptonite, or perhaps an electromagnetic railgun rifle, which the very weakened Superman will have trouble dodging in his current state. But a kill doesn't count if it isn't honorably achieved, and Superman represents the quite honorable kill indeed. Superman is bringing his bare fist to the fight, but the Predator is bringing a fighting knife and a hand claw, both of which are coated with kryptonite. When your quarry has skin that's literally unbreakable by anything without a kryptonite edge, it's not really cheating so much as it's just being prudent to coat your weapons with the stuff. Weakened by exposure to kryptonite and the aerosoled kryptonite lingering in the atmosphere, Superman's strength is still superior to the Predator's, but each block and parry of the kryptonite weapon used against him will weaken that strength even further. Superman can choose to disengage, perhaps try to fly above the Predator and regain some of his strength, but the plasma launcher has already spread vaporized kryptonite particles across our closed arena, and there's simply no escaping their debilitating effect. Our end result comes down to one single mistake made by one of our combatants. Our Predator's honor code to kill his prey in hand-to-hand combat. Had he taken more time to further weaken Superman from afar with other ranged weapons or perhaps explosives, the Predator could have easily achieved victory. Or perhaps if he'd simply allowed Superman to further weaken before rushing into combat. But such is not the Predator way. And though the use of kryptonite is excused, as Superman is literally invulnerable without it, it's still considered using a debilitating poison against prey, which dulls its reflexes and saps its strength. Such a thing cannot be allowed to happen. Leveling the playing field is fine, but it's dishonorable to kill weakened prey. So while Superman may be weakened by his exposure to kryptonite, he still retains the ability to maintain incredible amounts of solar energy in reserve, using them only in the most dire of circumstances. Plus, despite all of his superpowers, Superman's greatest strength actually comes from a very normal human quality, his force of will. When faced with certain defeat, Superman refuses to cave and mentally pushes himself far past his natural limits. He's proven it time and time again. When the chips are down, he always rises to the challenge. Unfortunately for our Predator, today's fight is going to be close, but a loss. Yet Superman is himself honorable, and though he wouldn't be thrilled to be considered prey, he won't outright kill our Predator, who will get a chance to lick his wounds, and in time, who knows, maybe he'll be back in our arena to fight against another of the galaxy's most dangerous prey. Let's talk for just a few seconds about how we make these videos, since it's a very common question. Besides using Adobe After Effects to animate the videos, we help speed up the process by sometimes using pre-made assets or even templates from Envato Elements. I'm sure you already know websites like Audio Jungle, Video Hive, and Graphic River. Well, Envato owns all of them, and what they did now is pretty awesome. They've compiled almost 1 million assets from all of their sites and are making them available for a small monthly fee. They keep adding more every month. And if you sign up using our link in the description, you'll not only get an unlimited amount of downloads, you'll also support us in the process. Quick note, some vectors and music used in today's video were from Envato Elements. Check them out. Who do you think would win in a fair fight between the two? What if the Predator had the opportunity to ambush Superman in the middle of the city? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this epic showdown, check out our other series where we pit you, the average Joe, against all kinds of foes. Bye!